Fixing or changing your pop-up is all about habit change, motor skill development. We call it a motor engram. For basic sake, you know how you can sit into a car without even looking, your key goes straight into the ignition. That little slot for the key is like 3 millimeters wide. Don't even have to look, but your brain can fire off that sequence without thinking. Professional cricket player or a baseball pitcher, they can throw a strike into a box that wide without even really considering. They've done it so many times, their body, their nervous system, brain, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, fires off that sequence of patterning because it's been drilled in so many times. So we need to talk about habit change and skill development. So if you are trying to break a bad habit or create a new habit, it requires repetition, right? And so this program, we're going to be working and practicing that new pattern. But there's some things that kind of help with the neurology of motor learning that will help improve and speed up this process. And I think the awareness of this really helps for people that are doing this in the water and having difficulty. So first off, in dry land, relaxed face, easy breathing. Think of us trying to modulate the nervous system. So when we're practicing the pop-up, it's not necessarily to make it quicker and to make it stronger and to make it faster. You're going to do that stuff through the training. What you're trying to do is teach your brain, this is easy, this is effortless, I can do this repeatedly. You're teaching your brain that perfect pattern of movement, and so it's building this physical representation of how to fire that off and how to sequence it. So easy, effortless, easy face, easy breathing. All the time I work with clients, relax your face, relax your face. What is this? Teaching your brain. Grimace, tight, tension. It should be easy. Relax. Are you breathing? Breathe. Easy. Okay? So those couple things, like when you're practicing it and drilling it on dry land, don't go to heavy fatigue. Don't go to the point where it's getting sloppy and tired. Keep your practice perfect. Cool? And so when we get into the water, sometimes people will have a lot of difficulty at first undoing this habit because they've been doing a bad or inefficient pop-up for thousands of repetitions for the last 10 or 15 decades, or they're trying to do a new pop-up. So you've got to understand how your brain takes in information because you're trying to override an ingrained pattern. So every moment your brain is taking in thousands of bits of information and filtering stuff to the conscious versus subconscious. Some theorize you get like 7 units. Out of the thousands, you get 7 units that goes to the conscious. The rest is going to the subconscious. But they have something, an acronym called DIPI. D-I-P-I. Danger, important, pleasurable, and interesting. Your brain will prioritize those things, with danger being first. So what that means is, if you are in an environment, and so for us, for surfing, if you're in an environment where you sense any type of stress or danger, crowd, reef, this wave is too big, I'm anxiety-ridden and self-conscious because I keep falling, there's too many good surfers out here. Any threat perception to the brain is essentially going to hijack the cognitive process you are trying to make of doing something new and different. If paddling into that wave, suddenly you think, oh my God, I'm going to fall, I'm going to fall, I'm going to fall, you're not going to be able to make a conscientious effort of, I need to do a walk-up. Because your brain will literally get hijacked by threat perception and drop into deeper brain motor pattern recognition, meaning it's going to drop back to that old drop knee pop-up. So in the water, you need to come up with basically a one-word mantra that fires off the sequence. For me personally, I use sprint. I used to run track in college. I played soccer and we'd run track or cross country in kind of the off season. So this sprinter in the blocks position is familiar to me. I've known this for years. So if I just think sprint, it immediately puts me into that position. For some people, it's arms up. For some people, it's run forward. For a lot of clients we get on surf trips, We talk about, and you'll see this again in the program elsewhere, bring me beers. So if I think I have a beer in each hand, bring me the beers. I walk up and bring beers, as silly as it is. But you need to have a one-word mantra, so you're not having to sit there and think about eyes up, head up, walk up, there's too many surfers, this is big, this is scary, I see reef, I need to fix my pop-up, because it's overriding your cognitive processing abilities. So come up with a one-word mantra and don't get frustrated. There's going to be a lag of having to work on this in the water. If you need to, drop back onto a foamy or something with more foam or more length, because the extra buoyancy or even the extra length, so you're getting into the wave a little earlier, is going to take some of the instability out of the equation and give you an easier process to start working on that pop-up or walk-up. What we'll often recommend as well is that you can find your ideal surf scenario. That's different for everyone. For me, you throw me at like good 4-foot hollow trees in the Mentawais, that's an ideal surf scenario for me. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable in that environment, that there's no stress, it's fun for me. I could more easily work on a new skill because my brain isn't having to contend with threat and stress response. So for you, it might be 1 foot out at Malibu minus the crowd of hundreds of people. Maybe it's a 3-foot beach break somewhere. Whatever it is for you, your ideal surf scenario that is non-threatening in every sense of the word threat, crowd, mental stress, anxiety, whatever it might be, get into that environment. That's going to be a lot easier place for you to work on the skill because it's allowing you an environment where you can think and you can perceive and you can conscientiously throw effort at changing a pattern that has been ingrained in your body. So we often find that that bit of insight is really helpful for people on all of our surf coaching trips, just the understanding of how your brain processes information and how it is you're trying to undo habits and create new habits. You want to be in an environment where you're looking at that wave and you're thinking, yes, this is fun, this is easy, because in that environment, you can more easily devote brain power towards doing something new and novel. Cool. With that said, think about how and when you're going to practice and apply your pop-up or walk-up in the water and on dry land.